A critical point in keeping your radio audience engaged is to vary the pace and tone. In other words, avoid monotony. Throughout your radio spot, there need to be changes in the rhythm, in the intonation, and in the articulation. That is what we call the emotional hum. One powerful way to avoid monotony is to feature more than one voice in the spot. Far too many radio ads are produced with a single announcer, and more than 75% of them are non-engaging.
So you're saying you need me?
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
You can't take it back now. You don't want this webinar to sound robotic and uninspired, do you?
No, but...
So let's mix it up. Folks, this goes back to basic writing technique. When your middle school teacher used to tell you, vary your sentence structure, the same goes for the spoken word. As a copywriter, you must do your part by guiding your voice talent into how you want the spot to sound. Your VO artist will certainly bring some theatrical flavor into the voiceover themselves, but if it doesn't sound on brand, and more importantly, on emotion, with how you envision the final commercial, make sure to let them know that. Nicely, of course. Then, together, you can produce a finished radio spot with a varied pace and tone that will really engage your audience throughout the whole duration, and keep your branded message top of mind.
Speaking of the top of your mind, it's very important to guard against bald spots in a radio commercial. Bald spots are those long spaces in the radio ad where no emotional data points appear. They represent time when the listeners are not paying attention and can be caused by violating any of the key principles discussed in this webinar.
Oh, I'm sorry, were you saying something?
Very funny. Anyway, this principle is particularly important in the part of the commercial that delivers a hard sell. It is often tempting to fall into a company's standard message pattern near the end of the spot in a way that will not create engagement or a positive payoff for the target audience. As important as the sale is, the listener has to feel that they are buying the product rather than feel they are being sold the product. Facial coding shows that, in order to avoid bald spots, the last closing seconds in the commercial have to play to the listener's self-interest over and above the advertiser's interest in making the sale.